Hi, I'm Terry David Mulligan.
Oh, my name's Lynne McNamara. I'm the leader of the band.
Lynn.
Although we're few in number, we're the finest in the land. We play at wakes and weddings
Roll
and
it.
at
Hit
every
it.
fancy
Right
ball.
now, please.
And when we...
It was a hard day's night. We had a ticket to ride, but tomorrow never knew. It was hello, goodbye. We carried on down the track. We come so far, now here we are, looking back. Familiar names, familiar faces, from different times and different places. Looking back, that was then, and this is now.
I don't know, there's got to be a reason why you burst into song like that. Why?
Well, I thought that maybe the Irish Rovers would like a little new blood in their group. After all, the same five guys have been together for 25 years.
Consider the blood there, too, yeah. It's a good idea. Tooraloo-ra-loo-rum.
Terry, I think perhaps we should leave the singing to the pros and get on with tonight's show.
Yeah.
I talked to Betty Phillips, whose career continues to flourish after almost 40 years in the business. I also chat with Doug the Bulldog Collins. He's Vancouver's strongest advocate of free speech. And a radio personality, Monty McFarlane, who actually enjoys getting up at 3:30 a.m. to make us laugh.
I have the pleasure of interviewing some old friends tonight. Lawyer Roger Schiffer, who was once the manager of Vancouver's first Rock Hall Retinal Circus. But we open tonight's show with Will and Jimmy of the Rovers and their Leprechauns.
5 years of the Irish Rovers TV series and CBC specials introduced the world to the Irish Leprechauns and all of their pranks. The Rovers' on-stage touring career has taken them through Ireland, the U.S., Japan, England, New Zealand, Australia, Scotland, and of course, Canada. I remember their arrival at the Butte Street studios very well because the old drafty dressing rooms had been replaced by fresh walls, rugs, and paint.
Yeah, make doors that locked.
Yes, and
because
you know why?
Why?
Because Willie took a fit one day and threw all the carpets out onto the hallways and punched holes in the walls.
And the mirrors?
So they had no choice. They had to build new
Well, it
ones.
was due to the fact
Because he
that
demolished the old
it was
ones.
due to the fact that I was having a lost love affair at the time, and I was tragic one morning. I walked into that horrible dressing room, and I sat hard into the chair, and a mirror fell right and cracked and broke into bits over my head, and something clicked in this small, innocent, poetic skull, and we wrecked the dressing room.
We wrecked the dressing room.
But that's clever!
Not bad, well, I must confess.
We were smart enough to know that we were entertainers. The folkies stayed in the folk cellars and learned to hate the Rovers because we became successful. Yeah. I always had the Unicorn song. It was a whimsical kid song from my children's days in Calgary. And funnily enough, we'd sing all the Mary Hamilton songs and the old Irish ballads. But the Unicorn, whenever we came to do our first album for Decca, they said, that's a commercial song.
A long time ago, when the earth was green, there was more kinds of animals than you've ever seen. They'd run around free when the earth was being born, and the loveliest of them all was the unicorn.
Well, in the 15th anniversary show, the chroma key, the use of chroma key in there was fantastic.
I think that was one of my favorite because Ken Gibson became the wizard behind it all. He's got a sort of a twisted little mind about leprechauns and things, you know, and he was very good at that kind of stuff. But on top of that, we had some, and you probably still have them, some incredible cameramen there at the CBC. They got so into the leprechauns themselves that they were inventing things. And I think the state-of-the-art one was the final one where I had live children in front of me and I was
Live
singing.
children?
Yes,
Well, we
live.
used to use dead ones.
Or stuffed ones. And I was singing to the kids and I said, you kids know about leprechauns? And they didn't know who it was. So I got an easel and a paintbrush and a jar of paint. And I painted 3 very magical fellows known as the Leprechauns. The first one's kind of the leader, a very smart, intelligent young fella. Name is Willie. There he is, right there. Look. Wow. And of course, he has a couple of sidekicks. One of them's a rather fat, pleasantly plump, kind of collegiate little fella, but he's fun to be around. He's called the Bun Warrior. Hiya, Bun. And the other fella, his little sidekick, sort of a demented, twisted little fella, called the Twerp. Hiya, Twerp. There's the Twerp. Suddenly, watch this, they came alive.
You're kidding.
They did.
Ah, bye. Well, listen here, mister. Just to show you that we haven't forgotten our magical powers, just take a look in your hands. Are you ready, boys? Bally slap the buttrick!
Jimmy, you got to play characters. Which one did you like best?
My favourite still today is the Bun Warrior. Because the Bun Warrior sort of reflected my personal life. Belligerent little bugger, you know.
He said it true.
Yes, I did.
We really created the people as they were.
Sure.
There was Jimmy, the buffoon, bravado.
Excuse me, I said belligerent, not buffoon.
I beg your pardon. I beg your pardon. And then my brother was the twerp, because he was.
Well, now that's true.
And he was the antagonist. He was the.
And he still is.
It
That
was
was
basically.
typecasting.
It was basically a leprechaun Irish Three Stooges, because I was the wise and sagey one who sort of kept the other two in rein, right?
Rain?
Rain.
It was sunshine most of the time. Ever. So
And,
you can't do chroma key in the rain.
And we only played ourselves, and I wish that the public had only been able to see some of the things that never appeared on camera. You know, it would have been wonderful.
Bun Warrior, and Willie have a cure for your melancholy. For we're tricky little dimples on the whistle and the fiddle and the valley slap a guttery.
But I would say the great thing about being an Irish Rover is you're not a rock and roller. There's no age limit to a rover.
A lot of magic spells and we'll treat you very well. So come and take a trip with me. And me.
He's been called Vancouver's favorite breakfast ham. Morning man Monty McFarlane is the guy who's been our very own radio alarm clock for over 30 years. With his off-the-wall humor, huge collection of recorded comedy routines, and strange voice clips, he's made getting up in the morning a bit more palatable for many of us. Most of Monty's radio days were spent at CJOR, when they broadcast from the glamorous basement of the Grosvenor Hotel. And like most of his colleagues in the business, he switched stations a few times. But in spite of the transient nature of jobs in radio, it's all he's ever wanted to do.
Well, I grew up in the north end of Winnipeg, and...
So did everybody else.
did you know? Don't tell me you did.
So no,
Did
but
you know?
so many people in
With
the
the name
business.
of Monty. Can you imagine Monty in the north end of Winnipeg? I wanted to be a Steve or a Mike. Of course, there were a lot of Steves and Mikes in the north end of Winnipeg, and those were just the girls. You know, so.
There you go.
But I came here in the late 40s and worked at the old CKMO, which later turned out to be C-Fun, and I worked at CJOR. Worked at CJOR for many years, twice around. Last time, 16 years.
In a glamorous Grosvenor Hotel basement.
It was never too glamorous. Next to the barber shop, overlooking the garbage cans.
How did you get into radio? Did you work in Winnipeg in radio?
Yes, I did. I did acting. I did radio acting when radio drama was very popular. I did little kids' parts, little girls' parts, little boys' parts. Because, you know, you had a voice with the same.
Yeah. Any heroes? Do you have any heroes?
Yeah. I think I can say in the business, I always respected a man called Steve Allen, who, as a songwriter, as a composer, entertainer, he was the greatest. I used to listen to him on radio. And then when he got onto television, I respected him very highly. I love radio. I enjoy it. I took a whack at television. I had a whack at it a couple of times, but television, I don't know whether you found it. I find it so time-consuming.
So on CBC it was called The Other Cheek, was it not?
Yes, that's right. It was a little variety show. We had music and people who were in town, if I recall correctly, and we used to get a lot of people in town entertaining. We don't get too many anymore.
And we got a nice studio audience here tonight on our Persian rug, of course. Can we get a shot of the folks here for the benefit of the people at home? Look at that. Now that's a group.
You've almost always done mornings on radio. Do you still like to do mornings, or doesn't it get you down having to get up morning after morning at 3:30?
No, I like mornings, and I'll tell you why. Very good reason. I think my biggest, can you call it playing golf a vice? I guess you could. I guess you could,
Yeah.
the way I'm involved. I love to play golf. I don't mind getting up early in the morning, 3:30, 4 o'clock, 4:30. That's fine. That's no problem at all. I can handle that. And it gives me the day, which I dearly love and enjoy. And I have an opportunity to do what I like most, and that's to play golf.
What do you think was the highlight of your career? What was the time that you liked the best, or is that still to come?
When Arlene and I got married, I have to say that, because she won't feed me if I don't. The highlight of my career? Oh, for goodness sake, there are so many things that come to mind. I can't really pick out, I can't pinpoint any one particular thing that comes to mind, but there's so many things that I just enjoy doing what I'm doing. Love it.
Right now, Monty's at home with a broken ankle. He'll be back doing his morning show at CJVB.
And as we speak, the Rovers are preparing to go on stage in San Jose, California, and later this year they'll be performing at Expo 88. Still to come, Betty Phillips, Roger Schiffer.
But first, I talk with Doug Collins.